Insights with Terri Ep.244, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.244. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.244. We're going to explore together the week of November the 9th through the 16th, 2025. I hope you all survived Halloween. I like Halloween. The energy is, for me, very, very high. But it's also, for many, a very thin veil at Halloween where the other side is nearer or easier to penetrate on both sides, going and coming. So I find leading up to Halloween and just a little bit after, high energy. It feels like you're excited about something, but you're not sure what it is, that kind of thing. You can feel the energy kind of snapping around. And I noticed the animals were in the same. The ducks would just take flight. They'd be in the driveway, and my little guys that were born in the spring just started, lovely, just started learning how to fly. So basically banging into me and whoever visits, or landing on top of my car, and leave little presents on top of the car. But their energy was really high. And the dogs too. If I let them out the gate, it was just a thunderous stampede, trying to control them and get them to understand we've got to calm down. You know, we've got to make it calm. So we had to do a lot of calm type of training to try to get them to think and relax a little bit. So the animals felt it. The leaves felt it, the wind felt it. It was quite a high energy time. Now we still have that Scorpio energy in the sun sign, so we're still being allowed to dig deep in trying to understand things. So many people will have difficulties in the emotional space of their lives. Maybe something will trigger them. They weren't expecting it. Maybe a little bit more weepy. Maybe a little bit of anger will come to the surface. Everybody will express it a little bit differently, but it's there. So honor yourself. Try to stop for a moment if you can and feel what you're feeling. What am I feeling? What is going on with me right now? Am I feeling okay? Does my body feel okay? Are my emotions right, kind of skimming the top of the surface? And take care as well to look at your animals. What are they going through? Are they hyper for you right now? Are they slow? Are they feeling? What are they feeling? And it amazes me when people come here to have me work kindly with their dog, and I'll say, okay, stop for 1 second, look at your dog. What is your dog feeling right now? And then they look at me with a blank look. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Look at your dog. What's his body language expressing to you right now? Well, I don't know. So we have to be more present with this energy, and Scorpio, with some of the way the planets are right now too, is going to allow us to learn how to be more present in the moment, think higher, evolve higher, ask for more. When I say that, I ask for more of myself. I'm not happy with, well, it's kind of okay. I don't want kind of okay. I want this to be good. I want this to be the best that it's capable of being. That's not necessarily perfection. It's just, I'm not settling for less than it's capable of being, both in dog training, in myself, in situations, anything. What's the best that this can be? And I'll accept it at its level, but trying to do the best that you can be. And right now it's about being in the moment, present, and diving deep, trying to figure out presently, what am I feeling? Why was I just triggered in line? Why, when that person honked the horn at that other car, did I get angry not being involved in it? Why? So all the whys and whats and what ifs are around us. Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that's in Sagittarius, and that's retrograde on the 9th. Now, I'm not making this on the 9th. I'm doing this just a little bit early, but anybody that's sensitive will feel it really up to a week or more. I know my Charlie, he feels it way before that. He's kind of a time clock, and so do I, and a long time after. Now, Sagittarius is the ruler of spirituality, of independence, of freedom, of positivity. So you take all of that together, evolution, spiritually and physically, emotionally, and our species, that positive energy field, and it goes backwards, retrograde. With that deep dive of Scorpio, they're offering us some opportunities here to really get into, where do we come from? Why are we here? What's my soul's purpose? What's the struggle? What's the struggle all about? What do I want to be when I'm out of here? Because Scorpio is the planet of death. It rules the house of death. So, not that we want to die or look forward to our death, because most of us are afraid of it. I don't think we're afraid of dying. I think we're afraid of the fear getting there. Is it going to hurt? Oh! So, it's letting us dive really deep into this. And then Venus, the planet of love, the planet of attraction, is in Scorpio, so we'll be attracted as well to trying to figure things out, the reality of the situation. Not the lies, because Sagittarius doesn't like lies, not the untruths, not the unfairness. None of that is going to be appealing on any level for any of us. And then Mars, the planet of passion, that's in Sagittarius. So we got a lot of energy here, and we were going through a full moon. It's getting behind us now, but that just it exacerbates all this energy field. So be careful driving, because this is where people don't think, they make mistakes. Our mind's not there. It's going retrograde. We're not processing. Oh, a red light. I'm supposed to stop. Oops. So just be careful when you're driving. Be careful when you get your prescriptions. Make sure it's the right prescription. People make mistakes right now. I'm really on top of, at this point, I'm really on top of when a person has an appointment with me. I will text them the day before, going over, I'm looking forward to seeing you on this date at this time. And a full maybe 40 to 50% of those texts uncover a mistake, either my mistake or the mistake of the person receiving the information, saying, oh, I thought it was 11 o'clock. No, I've got you in for 11:30. Can we work around this? So then you have to be flexible, and how can we work this around? Miscommunication, that's what this is all about. And then retrograde puts other people's, in situations that are difficult for them, so our tempers can be a little bit high, we can be stressed, we can be frustrated, we can be uncertain. So be kind and be patient, and try to be understanding for the people around you who are also experiencing this. This isn't just me, it's we are all going through this. So how can we help make their experience a little bit easier, a little bit better? And that just goes in our life, doesn't it? It doesn't have to be just this week or this next 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde. It's the way we should be living all the time. Even when I have people in for training, their dogs, and they get upset if their dog makes a mistake, and they take it out on the dog, which I find hard. I find hard to be patient with, because 99% of the time the mistake is ours. Maybe our timing was off. Maybe we need to go backwards a little bit, like that retrograde, go backwards into our training. And maybe if the dog is doing something, like for instance today when I was demonstrating for a woman, my little cattle dog, my young cattle dog Munchie, I asked him to stay and he just kept creeping. Well, part was my fault. I really haven't spent enough time in making it a longer, more challenging stay, where he's rock solid. And the other is, when I put him on a stay, now I'm working her dog, saying many of the words that I say to Munchie, like, come on over here, come on over, and so how is he supposed to know that I'm talking to the other dog, not him? So it's a really gray area. It wasn't black and white. Now, he made me look bad. Big deal. I explain to the client, I apologize, this is confusing for him. And as long as they're trying, you can see clearly he's trying to do whatever his confused little mind thinks that I want him to do. So we need to be more clear in our interactions with people and animals. We need to take the responsibility for some of the situations. Maybe it's our fault. Maybe we triggered it somehow. Maybe we said something. Maybe we didn't say something that we needed to say. Where is it all coming from? So let's look at how these situations are happening, and how am I contributing to maybe a mistake that's being made. So this is just the greatest opportunity to really understand things and get down to the bottom of things. And of course, I'm kind of addicted to the spirituality part of it. I just love to learn and grow and try harder and just see what other things I can know and experiment with. Now, in the week, our vulnerable body parts, be careful if you're vulnerable in your heart, and that would encompass your aorta, your blood pressure, your blood circulation. So if you're vulnerable in there, this energy field is going to put pressure on it, so be careful. We don't want you blowing apart. That's no good. And then towards the back part of the week, we're looking at pancreas and your small intestines and your digestive tract, and then the end of the week will be kidneys, bladder. So just if you're vulnerable in those areas, take care. Do what you need to do to keep yourself in a much better position. Now, the message for us this week, a lot of the cards that came up are very mentally oriented. So that means that our minds are going to play a big part in some of the experiences that we're going to be having in the next little bit, not just this week necessarily, but in our situations that we deal with. And I believe that makes sense to me, because our minds are what start to work things out. That's where the power is, that mental energy. That's where the power is. So one of the big energy fields that they're offering us right now is to understand restriction. So the picture that showed me is a person, which is supposed to be us, kind of tied up in ropes, restricted. And there's a barrier around us, and there's a blindfold on us. So basically we can't move. We're tied, we have a barrier around us, and we can't see. So there's a lot of feeling trapped with this energy field. So we could, and remember this is general, we could be having some situations that come at us that make us feel trapped. So that would be, I would consider, a very oppressive environment. And I'm a person that likes to feel that, I know you can't control situations, but you try to be proactive. I try to be proactive so that at least I can handle the situations that come at me. But I don't like the feeling of not having the power or the control to be able to at least try to manage a situation. If your hands are tied and you're bound by boundaries and you're blindfolded, there's no empowerment there. It's blockage, it's bondage, it's forced restraint. And that is what is turning, for many of us, into a vicious cycle. So then, how do you assert yourself when you're tied up, when you're blocked? Maybe there's some isolation there. Maybe there's some fear of the unknown. Something's bothering humanity right now, and we do have to take a peek at it. And our mind, trying to figure it out, is what is going to help us try to understand what particular situation in your life right now, like I said, not just this week, is binding you, is tying you up. So this is an energy field that will keep putting pressure on us, keep tying more ropes around us, more bondage. Maybe our ears will be blocked next time, until we understand what all of this is about. What are our triggers? What's making us angry? What's making us hurt? What's making us live in fear? What does fear represent for us? Where is that blockage? Where do we feel our limitation is? What's our restriction? So this is an energy field that they're saying in many cases, for many of us, is self-imposed. This feeling of being boxed in, trapped, unable to move, is really us doing it to us. We did this. So what do we do? Maybe we spent too much money on things that maybe we didn't necessarily need, and now we don't have money for food, or we don't have money for the mortgage. We boxed ourselves in because of lack of restraint. Maybe we decided not to go into work 3 days this week, and we don't have money at the end of the week. We boxed ourselves in. So what are you doing to, and I don't want you beating yourselves up, just this is exploration, neutral observing. What are we doing to box ourselves in? What are we doing that's triggering this emotional response in us? Whatever it is, fear, sadness, confusion. What is it that has put you in this rut? And what is it that you feel is your own making? And what power do you have to try to dig yourself out of it? What is your ability to communicate this and work through it to yourself? That's what the swords is. I'm a victim of my own mind. Oh my goodness. So that's the energy field that they're offering us, not just this week, but around us. And, you know, trying to lead up to and go through, especially with that full moon, that Sagittarius, never give up, never quit, never stop trying. That's the most, I would say, when you meet somebody that never says die, never quits, won't give in, that's got to be Sagittarius in that energy field. So, kids, that's what we have. Be kind to each other this week. Look around. Many people are going to struggle, ourselves included. How can we not add to their struggle? What can we do to maybe help with what they're wrestling with? Even if it's just listening. Sometimes just a stranger will come up and talk to me, and it's not my job to have wise words necessarily. My job is maybe just to calmly listen so that they're heard. They feel heard. And it's important because then you know you're here, and so many people feel invisible because so many people can't listen. And that's a shocking thing for me when I watch the interaction of many people in an area. How many people are just not listening? They're maybe talking to themselves, or talking at the wall, or they're talking to the sweater and the counter. I don't know what they're talking to, but they're not listening. They're not paying attention to what's around them, what other people are experiencing, what energy fields they're walking in or through. And it's so visible. You go to Costco, which is about the only place I go. There'll be so many people that they'll be pushing their cart down the aisle, and it's busy. And then they want to go and see this can, and they just leave the cart there. Nobody can get past. Nobody can go through. And they're the only ones in the world, and it just surprises me. I'm just surprised at the lack of, I'm going to say, awareness of what's going around you. Now, maybe for myself in particular, because I was raised on a farm, and farms aren't as safe as people think. You know, we have incoming ducks here. You might have 30 ducks coming in. You got a duck. Or we had cows, we had bulls, we have horses, we had big animals. Tractors go by, machinery swings. You go in or out of a stall, and the horse wants to go in or out of the stall at the same time you do. That's squishy. So we just had to learn to be aware of our surroundings and present. But when I watch people, they're pushing that cart, and there's a car behind them. They don't even hear the car behind them. And they're in the middle of the aisleway in where the cars are going. And I'm just thinking, if that car was going fast, you wouldn't have a snowball's chance in hell. So I think this whole thing is to try to make us hear what's really being said, not what we think we hear, or not listen. See what you really see. how does this feel to me? Does this feel right? This can translate into the training of our dogs. What am I really seeing here? We think the dog is loving it, but is the dog loving it? We think maybe the dog is okay. I was with a trainer the other day, a very good trainer, one that I have a ton of respect for, not from this country, and he was really having trouble with this dog that had fear, and probably one of the most fearful dogs I've seen in a long time. But and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, observing. Within about 30 seconds, because he was asking my opinion, what could he do to help this dog not be scared? And I said, well, your dog's sore. Your dog's walking around you, and he's either got a pinched muscle, or he's got a bulging vertebrae. There's something going on with his back end, and when you go to reach him and he moves the wrong way, he's tagging you with causing the pain. You caused him to move the wrong way. When he just screams for no reason, he's not screaming for no reason. He's hurt. And I was stunned that person couldn't see it. He thought the dog was just scared and screaming for no reason and acting up and trying to kind of bite him if he went to move him a certain way. Well, it's because he was hurting. So I don't know sometimes where our heads go. It didn't take much to look at that, but I wasn't tied to an outcome. I wasn't tied to having that dog trained. I was tied to looking at what I saw. Not what I wanted to see, not what I was told to see. What did I see? And that's what the universe is trying to get us to encompass in our life right now. When your partner is talking to you, what are you hearing? What are you hearing that they're saying? What are you hearing between the lines? What's going on? Okay, that's our homework. Aren't we? Aren't we so lucky? And I would like to thank Charlie for putting this up on all the platforms. I won't go through that again, but I do appreciate that, Charlie. And a lot of people do get in touch with me and thank myself. Well, thank Charlie through myself that he's made it so available. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, blah, blah, blah. And if you want an uplifting experience, tune in to Charlie's Big 8 Radio at streams. That's a stream, and that's big8radio.com, and it's all the classics. So if you want to go back in time and feel good, this retrograde would be perfect for that. That is what you want to tag into. Alrighty, everybody, if you want a reading for yourself, so I can maybe we can have a chat about your life or what difficulties you might be going through and how can we help, or work with your animals, feel free. Give me a text or a call, 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody, for your time. I'm so grateful. Have a wonderful week. Use all these opportunities to learn, grow, and share with each other. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.